This is our Royal Caribbean Cruise experience. Part 3, Excursions. Our first stop is Ketchikan, Alaska. Ketchikan is a beautiful coastal city in Alaska. We explored the downtown district and an area which used to be the red light district. As you can see, there's a lot of greenery and the summer sun was beautiful. One of the best parts of visiting Ketchikan is that we got to see salmon swimming upstream. Check that out. After walking through the historic red light district, we got to see a small waterfall and then walk along the shops. The main area had a lot of shops, some with souvenirs and unique Alaskan treats. Our next excursion, mysteriously shrouded in fog, is Skagway, Alaska. This may have been unique to our experience, but as you can see in that yellow lifeboat, is carrying cruise ship passengers. We actually had to dock farther out from the land, and then we rode the lifeboats to the shore. This was the view from the lifeboat. Once we made it to land, we were set to ride the train. Everyone who's going on this excursion and on this train is grouped together on the cruise ship in one of the auditoriums. Then they released us one group at a time to exit the cruise ship. Anyways, if you can ride this train, I would highly recommend it. It was so relaxing getting to just sit in the train all the way up and down the mountain, and we were able to enjoy beautiful scenery. It was really gorgeous. Alright, I have a lot of amazing footage, so while it plays in the background, I'll tell you guys a little more about this experience. So for this excursion, it's called the White Pass train route. And while it is definitely worth it if you want to see the sights of Skagway, Alaska, I would say that if you have small children that tend to scream and cry a lot, please do not ride this train. The whole experience takes about 3 hours, so little kids will probably get tired and impatient by the end. As I've mentioned in a previous video, I do get motion sickness, and I was perfectly fine riding this train. Overall, the train moves slowly enough that you're able to take some great videos and pictures, and you're even allowed to step out between the cars to get some fresh air and to take pictures without the glare of the window. There are a lot of things to see, including vast ravines, pine trees, rivers, brooks, and views that are good enough to put on a postcard. Wow, that was one of my favorite shots of this trip. I would say that the weather was really nice. When we stepped out onto the car, there was a nice breeze, but it wasn't too hot and it wasn't too cold. Do bring your jackets though. And with that, we're coming up on the end of this train ride. So once you get back, it will have been about 3 hours that passed. As you can see in this clip, we're on a lifeboat again, traveling back to the cruise ship. That might have been unique to our experience, but it may happen for you too. But before we got on the lifeboats, we were actually able to do some walking around in the town of Skagway and get some souvenirs and ice cream. This was kind of what it looked like riding inside the lifeboat. If you get the chance to be parked next to another cruise ship, it's always a great view. And this is what Skagway looked like before we pulled away for the night. As you can see in this next shot, our next stop was Juneau, Alaska. Actually, I think you're supposed to pronounce it Juneau, but oh well. There was a long wait for the Gold Belt tram, but once we were on it, it was really nice because we got to see the whole area. Here you can see the cruise ship as we go upwards. As we continued to go up, we got to see more and more of the scenery. It is kind of crowded, so there might be people in your shots, but once you get to the top, it'll be worth it because you'll have a really nice view. Once you get to the top, there's a lot of greenery, and we were able to even go on a mini hike. So if you just walk around behind the building, there's a trail, and you can just follow it down as far as you're comfortable with going and come right back up. I would say it's worth going on the hike because there's just a lot of great views and you don't have to go far to find it. Luckily enough, coming down on the tram, I was able to get a spot at the front of the tram so I can get a nice video for you guys coming down. But just so you guys don't get bored, I'll put it in triple speed now. Alright, and for our final excursion on this Alaskan cruise, the city of Victoria in British Columbia, Canada. Because this stop is in Canada, you do need your passport when getting off and boarding the ship. Since Victoria is definitely a major city in Canada, it's a little different than the excursions we'd been on before. I think that the city was gorgeous, it had amazing scenery, and balanced that with modern buildings, shops, and convenience stores. We even saw a friendly cat. Victoria was our final night on the cruise ship before we got back to the port of Seattle. Once you arrive here, we're back to where we departed from. I honestly think one of the best parts of going on the Alaskan Cruise is that you get to go through Seattle and see all of its beautiful scenery. Thank you for watching. Be sure to like and subscribe.